What's happening, everyone? And big what's happening to the faithful. How's everybody doing? Been a few days since I've been online. So I want to welcome everybody back to the platform. Welcome you to a NINER edition of the platform today. I just want to talk about a couple of news and notes that have come out from the 49ers over the weekend, the last couple of days. Uh, so starting with injuries, as you know, that's been the biggest factor for us really for the last few years, last 2 to 3 seasons, starting with our quarterback. That's really the primary reason that we drafted a quarterback. What Jimmy does, play imperfect at times. His biggest fault is that he's injury prone. And in football, especially, there's a saying, and it's that your best ability is availability. So you can be as fast as possible. You can be as strong as possible, tall, smart, intelligent, love the game, whatever the case is. But if you're not available to play, it doesn't matter. So our quarterback, unfortunately, has that problem. So that's why we drafted one. And our entire team really has that problem, which is why I'm glad we're as deep a team as we are. So with that, Justin School, who's a reserve player for our offensive lineman, tackle primarily, uh, tore his ACL uh, last week in practice. Kyle Shanaha was interviewed about it. He was asked by sports writer Grant Cohn what he planned to do about the injuries or how he planned to change practice. Understandably, again, Kyle's answer to that was, you know, uh, we don't just stop practice because someone gets injured during it, unless that's what you want me to do. So it's very clear that he doesn't like him. They don't like each other. But he at least answered the question, and it was good for me too because it was honestly a question that I had, as to with the amount of injuries that we have, what are they doing? Well, a lot of us fans know, maybe some of you don't. They did cancel the remaining parts of camp. I spoke about that in my last video last week, and they replaced that with some team building exercises. I'm here in Las Vegas. It's 113 freaking degrees here today, right now. So as you guys know, I think it was not this previous weekend, but the weekend before, they were all out here in Vegas, just about all the Niners. Or at least Kittle, Warner, and Lance. Those are the faces I made out very easily, uh, not surprisingly. But they were out here in Vegas, and I believe that they, did more team building things last week as well, just to still be together, but not have to physically practice. And excuse the lighting. Like I said, just starting this out, lighting all that will get better eventually as things go on. And I'll probably stop recording the videos straight from my phone, my Android phone, by the way. We're Android users around here. Well, at least I am. Both of my children have iPhones, so I'm an Android user. With that, the videos will get better as far as the quality and the lighting, But I've realized in starting this, as you know, I did a video a few days ago. I think it was our last video I actually put up. Just the things that I have learned since I started to do this. And what that is, most importantly, is that it's not easy to do it every day. So much respect to people who do. Much respect to people who do. It can be really difficult to come on after work and try to have fun with people who really aren't interacting with you at the moment as well, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to talk about our team, trying to talk about life, things like that. So getting on here and, speaking basically to myself, speaking to the phone, something that I do a lot, honestly. But getting on here and speaking to myself is not the easiest thing to do. So once I start, doing this through my computer, and then getting maybe like some live chat and things like going on with other Niner fans, other faithful, it'll be even easier, and I'll even look more forward to it because I do look forward to it. So far over this first week, this is a full week now. With today being Tuesday, since the first video that I made, I started doing them last Tuesday. And 49er videos specifically, once the season starts, or probably once training camp starts, will start to come to you probably every Monday or again every Tuesday at the latest. I'll, review the games, go over the games that happen on Sunday, or maybe even in some cases Monday. If they have a game, I know we got Thursday night football. I think we have least one. Maybe we have two Thursday night games. So with that, then I'll do the reviews for those games probably like on Friday or Saturday um, once the season begins. But outside of that, right now, I'm going to definitely probably have, Niner Monday or Tuesdays on my channel, without a doubt. So that's going to be one of the first things that you get from me at the top of the week always will be some news on Frisco. And then so outside of that, Justin School was placed on waivers last week. He was cut by the team. He passed waivers, so with that, he actually gets to return to the 49ers. Now, he likely won't play this year at all, even as a swing tackle or being moved all over the line, whatever the case may be. With a torn ACL right now in the midst of summer, it's unlikely that he play even if we made it all the way to the middle of February, even if we made it to the bowl. It's unlikely that Justin will get to play this season. However, he will return to the team and he will be with us next season. So he cleared waivers and he gets to be the first person who comes off the waiver wire in the later portions of the season. I believe it's like after week 8 of the regular season, something like that. Although, unfortunately, and probably obviously, he won't be someone who's coming off of that at any time soon, or at least not this season. Another thing that I was able to research and read this week was an interview that Kyle Shanahan had with Tim Kawakami, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And that was with another San Francisco 49er beat writer. And the biggest takeaway from that interview for me was Kyle saying that Trey Lance would be ready and available to start week 1 if necessary. Now, he's our coach, right? So he can't, and he's his coach. He can't say anything different than that. I don't think anybody expected him to walk up uh, and say, "Hey, nah, the kid's coming along real slow. He's really not picking up things the way that I was anticipating." So the last thing I want to do is have him start in week 1. No, obviously he's going to say, hey, he's doing everything great. It's actually shown proof of that to the world as well. At least the internet has, with how well he's done in camp. So it's not like he would be, lying, or he is lying when he says that, he's picking up things fine and that he's just about ready to go, ready to play. And then if we needed him for week 1, he would 100% be ready to start. I think the only way that happens is if, first of all, he just completely outshines Jimmy in training camp. And Jimmy, Mr. G, I don't think he's going to let that happen. Porn star Jimmy, as Stephen A. Smith likes to call him, has probably too much pride to let that happen. I think we can all tell he seems to have come back in a little bit different of a mood. He worked on his body over the break, over the spring, and he's come back in really, really good shape, and he's actually played really well in camp thus far, so I don't think there's going to be an issue. The other way that can happen is if Jimmy were to get hurt early in the season or, during training camp or even in the preseason. And with his injury history, I'm going to guess that, and there's just 3 games. So I don't know if the second game of the season will be the dress rehearsal game or the third now still, as always before. But still yet, I don't expect to see Jimmy playing too much in the preseason. I expect him, Kyle, honestly, to try to get as much view and, real game tape and real game speed situations down for Trey Lance. And then also to see his third string and second backup quarterback, uh, Mr. UCLA. His actual name, Josh Rosen. His name almost escaped me. So Josh Rosen and Trey Lance, I expect them to play a lot in the preseason in those 3 games. And I don't expect to see too much of Jimmy simply because of his injury history and honestly how important he is to us as a starter. So with that, those are the 2 biggest things that I've been able to come across this week from, Niner Central, finding out the situations as far as our injuries, and then of course as well whether or not Trey Lance, had a good camp and whether he was actually ready to start if needed come September. One more takeaway as well. It's like the whole team is keeping their fingers crossed on D Ford and having him available. Our second top defensive lineman, our left side defensive lineman, our bookend for Bosa. So we want to hope that he's available. And after we did, get Samson Ebukam from the Rams to kind of fill in that void that was left by him last season, just a little bit of time with him, sparing need throughout the year, certain plays, certain downs, certain distances, certain situations. I think that'll be good. And they give them the ability to not only obviously bring him along slowly, but not put a heavy workload on him. So those are the notes that I have this week. I'm actually going to be doing some research tonight, looking into a couple of things that I actually heard regarding the 49ers. And I'm going to try to come out and get another video on tomorrow if those things are legitimate. If not, I can hopefully maybe still come on and get a video to you guys. So with that, for all the faithful out there, I want to say be safe, have a good week. And for everybody else as well, the same goes to you. I'll talk to you later.